Welcome to another episode of the Compliance Alliance, hosted by Knox Thomas, the workplace and machinery safety consultancy. I'm Tom Chaldicott, and today I have David Ely with us, who is our Ops Director. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah, we're going to talk about an app that we've recently released, one that we use internally and one that we've released to the public to help with pure assessments.
Yeah, and it's been available for a little bit of time now.
Yeah,
so
mid-January, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
And there's been kind of a few people have been using it. We've had various bits of feedback. Why did we build the app in the first place? In fact, no, let's start with what does the app do?
Yeah, so the app itself is conceptually very simple. We decided to move to a proper database to hold our pure assessment data, and the app is simply a user interface that sits on top of that database.
Yep.
It has forms to help guide an assessor through the various stages of doing a pure assessment, to help gather that data in an organized way and keep everything together that needs to be together.
Yep.
So conceptually, it's a very simple app.
Yep. And what kind of birthed the need for this app? What was it that kind of triggered this? Obviously, we've spent some time building it.
Yeah.
Why have we done this?
Yeah. I mean, as you know, being on site, you often have a lot of stuff to deal with. And certainly in the past at Knox Thomas, we did assessments using an Excel spreadsheet. So have an Excel spreadsheet on a tablet, and it can become quite cumbersome quite quickly. And you also have the issue then of things like photos. What do you do with photos? You take a photo of a non-compliance. Where's it stored? Where's it kept? How do you hold that together with the rest of the text-based data that you're gathering? You can do that fine when you're looking at a standalone piece of workshop machinery. So you've got a lathe there. You can wander around it. You can keep it all together. But if you're faced with a situation where you've got a whole production line or 3 production lines, 4 production lines, and you want to pure assess all of those, quite quickly you end up with just a large volume of data and a large volume of back and forths on your Excel tab, your Excel page, that it just makes it undoable in anything less than weeks and weeks and weeks. And I mean, what prompted us to build the app was we were getting to a point in Knox Thomas where we needed to do lots of assessments and to do it quickly, and to make sort of tidying up the data afterwards smooth and efficient. Brilliant.
So we were looking for efficiencies, and how do we help our clients with that?
Yeah.
And so the app was kind of born.
Because that's essentially what we're looking to do. We're looking to deliver high quality assessments where everything is held together in an organized way and is useful and can be organized in a way that helps the client, but to do that in a timely manner and not take months when it could take weeks.
Yeah. And what are some of the features in there? So we've obviously been kind of telling people we've got this. Why should people download it and use it?
Yeah. Well, one of the features is that it's very simple. So essentially, it's a series of forms organized in a particular way. So you open the app, you can set up all the details of your project, which holds together everything. Within that, you can build an asset register, and for each of those assets, you can open a pure checklist and raise risk evaluations. So the essential structure of it and the central features there, that's what it is. Now there's some stuff in there that we've worked quite hard to try and make it as user friendly as possible. So you can capture images in the app, you can annotate those images in the app, you can associate various bits of data in ways that try and mimic how you'd actually go through on a human level and process this kind of assessment. You can export the data to Excel, and I think that was a really key feature for us in it. One of the things we want to avoid is have an app and then people start using it and then people be locked into it and it not mesh with the stuff they're already using, or to not have that data accessible in just a really commonly used format would be a major misstep for us, I think. So that's one of the features, that you're able to gather all this data and then export it in ways you can use elsewhere.
And we know that lots of health and safety managers quite like their Excel spreadsheets.
They do. I mean, we do as well.
Yeah.
Well,
so
we did.
we can format, we can kind of rank things, it's searchable, it's, what do you call it, agnostic to some degree. So you can kind of play with the data and you can actually deal with it and do something with it.
Things like, so we've given away our Pure checklist for free for quite a long time. But really what this app is an easy to use way of guiding you through that Pure checklist and prompting you to do the things that you need to do at various points. So one of the features is that it's got a well-crafted checklist that will guide you through all of the Pure regulations, which is not a small thing. That in itself is quite a helpful thing to have. And on top of that, automatic risk rating calculation. You choose your probability and severity, and it goes through our sort of risk rating lookup that's built into the app, just to help prioritize what needs to be dealt with.
And I suppose the key features here: one, simple to use. You can use it on site, on your phone. You're not there going backwards and forwards between your desktop, notes, however else you might be doing it. And you can also view the assets, compile your risk assessment, all within the same kind of space without having to be concerned about flicking between different things. Correct,
yeah. And what you can do when you're back at your desk is you can open the app on a desktop browser and then run through your edits. The app has a different view that is better suited for a desktop experience and for that desk-based editing, compiling, reporting, that kind of stuff. That's also an option within the app. You just open it in a desktop and you can do that. I know we found that very helpful.
Yeah, for the review purposes. Yeah, definitely. So a few people have kind of turned around like, Tom, David, you guys seem a bit crazy. Why are you giving this away for free? What's the logic behind that? Because there's got to be some. No one gives anything away for free. What's the answer to that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, partly we didn't spend that long building it, and so it's not a huge cost for us to give it away for free. So hopefully that will lower some people's suspicions. We're not giving away something that we've poured loads and loads of money in with a secret, catch. This is something that didn't take that long to set up, and we were building it for internal use anyway, and it's been really helpful for us. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is we believe that the industry thrives on that kind of spirit of generous competition. We don't want to lock down the industry behind gates and paywalls and arbitrarily. Actually, we're going to better serve our customers, and other people are going to better serve their customers as well. If we're able to sort of stir things up a little bit, be generous with what we can be, and sort of stir that spirit of generous and joyful competition in our industry.
I mean, competition is a good thing.
It's a really good thing. Yeah.
If businesses are competing with one another, they're going to compete to deliver better service to their end users. And
that's what we're looking for. Our business will prosper when we serve our customers well, and so will the businesses of our competitors. And that's what we want. We want the businesses of our competitors to also be thriving. So that our customers are served well.
Yeah, entirely. So obviously the app is free. It's aimed at kind of people within health and safety, you'd assume, thinking about kind of how do we comply with the provision and use of work equipment regulation. But who do you actually see using it? Who's the kind of the case study that you actually think is going to be using it?
It's probably not going to be someone with a very large factory trying to assess loads of machines. It's going to be the person who has 3 different responsibilities, who knows that they need to get to this. It's not a huge job, but it is a job on top of all the other jobs that they've got to do. The process of trying to put together all of your documents, work out how to do it yourself is daunting, but here's an app that we've worked out how to do the process. We can guide you through it. I think it's that kind of person who's going to be best served by this app.
So someone who is already going to be looking to complete pure assessments, the number of machines that they have isn't colossal. They do potentially have the space to do it, and this just eases them to
absolutely
be a bit more efficient and more effective.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose at the other end of the spectrum, you've got large companies that have, 400, 500 machines underneath their roof, a health and safety department of 2 or 3. Is this going to help them?
Sure, it might do. It may well do. It certainly helped us with that kind of job.
Yeah.
My suspicion is people in that position already have quite a good idea of how they're going to do this kind of thing. I guess that there may be a case where that sort of scale of job actually is too much for those 2 or 3 health and safety people to do themselves. So then they're unlikely to go and download the app and do it themselves.
Yeah.
That's the kind of situation where people might reach out to us and say, look, we've got all of these machines. Can you come in and do this for us? But there's a lot of people who are not in that situation that this would be really helpful for.
Yep. And I'm going to take this off on a slight tangent, maybe, or a slightly different direction. We've given this thing away for free. You're the ops director here.
Yep.
You've never dabbled in software previously. Okay. There's no secrets.
No.
You built this thing over kind of a 4-week period. So it didn't take you 4 weeks. So we're kind of pointing to the idea that like anybody could build this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone could build this.
Yes.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons we don't want to charge people for this. This is not something that we can peculiarly add value.
Yeah.
We had the benefit of a bit of time to do it and really the need that focused our attention on doing it. But anyone could do this.
And what are the tools that you've used without maybe going into the specifics of like this is how the app is structured, but like what are the tools that you used? Somebody who's never been in software, you built this thing that you can download on Apple Play or whatever it's Google Play.
Yeah. What are the tools? The core is a solid database backend. Once you've got that, there's a whole host of no-code or low-code platforms that you can just plug that database into and build out the interface in the way that you want it. Now, there are going to be limitations there. All of those platforms come with some. So we've used Google App Sheet. It's been more or less fit for purpose with some quirks that we don't really like, but
V2 is in the pipeline.
Version 2 is in the pipeline.
Yep.
I can talk about the tools we're using for that as well. There's a whole host of no code or low code or minimal code, and it takes a bit of time to work out how to use them. You do need to consult their documentation. You do need to throw their documents into ChatGPT or any other similar service and ask it your specific questions. But with a bit of that and the back and forth and time, like anyone can manage to do what we've done with this app.
Because that was going to be my next question. Thinking about the use of AI, and I've seen, I tried to dabble with a piece of software 6 months ago or something that suggested that it could build any app should you kind of put enough information in there and kind of be able to articulate what you want and engage with the thing. I couldn't really think about what I wanted to build. And like, that's probably item 1. Like, how do you find something that's going to fill a void or fix a problem? But then how much AI, I think this is, because I'm kind of intrigued just to think about where does software as a service go and where does kind of like selling software end up when the likes of David Ely can build an app within a 4-week period. Where does that take us?
Yeah. To exciting places. That's where it takes us.
Yep.
So our app that's out there, not much AI was used in that. That was us using a software as a service platform. But really, what we're doing now is we are using AI to write code in a way that is remarkably powerful. So you asked about sort of how do you do that? How do you do that well, I suppose, is the question. What you need is people who are able to observe and listen to the needs of the business they're in. But if you have someone like that, the tools that are available now, tools to basically say, look, we need as a business software that does exactly this. And this is how our staff go through this problem. If you can imagine how your staff work through a problem, the gap between having a tool to help them and now is really how well can you describe that problem? How well can you describe that? How well can you analyze that, pull that apart? How well can you understand the people who you are working with and working for? If you can do that, we're in a position now where you can make a tool that really helps boost your efficiency remarkably quickly.
Yeah. So what would you say then? So there might be people listening to this who are like kind of twitching, or I don't know if that's in fear or kind of excitement about the idea of, we pay, I don't know, 170 quid a month ish for our CRM software. It's not absolute loads of money, but it's not insignificant. Like, what's going to happen to the provider of that piece of software? As an example, we could pick near anything.
Yeah. There'll always be some place for software as a service, or people selling software, perhaps is a better way of putting it. Because no matter how good the tools get, you still need someone who is set aside to think through the tools and to put them together. It does take time and iteration, all that. So I have no doubt that people making software for you and selling it to you is, as a business model, is not utterly disappearing. However, that kind of pay us large amounts of money every month to get a product that really almost meets your needs but doesn't match the way you work. I think we're probably coming to the end of that era. Take the CRM. I mean, CRM is essentially a database with a user interface on the front. And if you can say to one of these AI coding agents, here's my database, or even build my database. I want it to hold this kind of information. I want it to relate in this way. Build that database for me. I want to be able to interact with it in this kind of way. I want it to track this, 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 and this. I want to have it to mesh with this. It won't be long. We're at the point already where someone with time and focus on that could build their own CRM software that meets their needs in a way that the off-the-shelf or the software as a subscription models just don't. Or don't quite. Because they're good. They're good enough most of the time, but they don't quite match how we do this in this company, or how we want our business philosophy culture to work. It's quite exciting, really. It's really exciting. The sort of the possibilities that are opening up, and it's not possibilities for us to just get more work done, be more efficient. It's possible that that means it's possibilities to serve others, to do good things. So it's really exciting.
And I mean the access to those tools. Also thinking about the people who currently do software, if they suddenly have more access and a greater ability,
think what they can do. I mean, it's incredible.
And then we were chatting about competition at the beginning, like. The competition there is going to drive kind of further innovation and development. How do they better serve their clients? How do you end up with better pieces of software that actually deliver on your needs? Like, it just sounds exciting.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You've got in some places this sort of semi-stagnant state of things where you've got one or two software companies who can basically lock down the industry. because they've got access to all the people who have the actual sort of technical skill to write the code. You bring along AI coding agents, and you've got people brought into competition in a way that can only benefit the industry. In the long run. I mean, it becomes a sort of bit of a rough and tumble for a while, but that's great. And it ends up with better service being provided. And that's a really good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, just trying to think through, where else do you apply this? What are the other kind of, are there other items of low-hanging fruit within businesses where we can go, oh, an app for that would save us an hour a week, 2 hours a week, and it would take us this long to build, and we can develop it using this tool here, and it's just an exciting idea. Yeah, entirely.
But what it takes to take advantage of those opportunities are people who have. So this is not just anyone can go into an AI code agent and just plonk in some instructions, because you've touched on it already. The problem is most of us don't have the imagination to actually think of the instructions, or think of the needs, or think of the creative ways of solving those needs. So what we need to be developing are people who have real expertise in the subject that they're dealing with, real expertise in how businesses run and how people interact and how people work, and have got a developed, fully rounded sort of imagination that means they can pull various things together to produce creative, exciting, imaginative ways to solve the problems that we didn't necessarily even notice we had until this became available.
Yes. And I mean, this, I would pose that we've made it sound very easy to develop an app. And there is some truth in that.
Oh, yeah.
It's become easier. But you're going to always have different characters who have the ability to pick up the instruction manual, read it robustly, understand and grapple with it relatively quickly, and implement that. Like, I'm not really one of those characters. Now, there are other things that I would, pose that I was better at. But like, there are certain characters who are really going to thrive in this area. And there are others who, surprisingly, even conversations within the last 6 months, I've heard people say, oh, that kind of whole AI stuff, I'm just going to ignore it and it's not for me. Now, I don't know, it's a bit like saying that the car isn't for me, or the internet isn't for me. Like, it's that degree of shift. So I think it's an interesting one in that it is going to affect everything that we do, mostly in good ways. And look, if it's not for you, that's fine. But you just got to realize that what you're becoming now is an artisanal whatever it is. You have people all over the place who are like, no, I'm not going to mass produce bread. I'm going to make it in the old traditional ways. And there's a market for it. There's a market for it, but it's a different market. And we just live in a time where that those markets are sort of shifting around, and it's exciting to see where that's going to go. Yeah. No, it's really exciting. Just thinking about final observations, final comments. What have you got? What if you could instruct? And I mean, we've kind of touched on a whole range of things there. Stuff that is very specific to machinery assessment, stuff that is game changer for industry. Even AI has been around for a good number of years as kind of a conversation, but like in terms of people actually understanding what it can do and its accessibility, it feels like really it's from where I'm sat within the last 12 months, less than that really suddenly things have become accessible. So what would your kind of go away piece be to anyone listening to us right now?
That's a good question. Give it a try. Pick a small problem that you have and give it a try to develop a solution. You don't know what you're going to discover that allows you to serve your customers better, your colleagues better. Failing that, download our app.
Yep.
Because we've tried to do that, and we hope that what we've produced is a real gift.
Yeah, entirely. So thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Compliance Alliance. I'm Tom Chaldicott. This has been David Ely. and we will see you next time.